Okay, let's give this setup a little bit of a go. Welcome to the Brethren. My name is Renee. This is Fictional Crafts. This is the first video of 2026, and I just wanted to sit down and have a little bit of a chat with you about what I'm thinking of doing with this channel. Now, audio might be shit. I'm still figuring things out, but I have Deep Purple working again. Thank you. You're welcome. Lighting I know is shit because I'm still waiting for a light. It's in the post. It's coming. Christmas. And this is unscripted. I have tried to record this about 3 times. Each time I have just forgotten to say something, or I just didn't like it, or the sound was shit. So yeah, this is hopefully going to accumulate in an actual audio book, or this setup, this right here. I really need to re-record Descent. I'm not lying. I need to re-record it. And hopefully I can then also record Botany once it's finished. Yes. Okay. So this channel has been a mix of things. And I think the best way to describe it is a little bit of a fictional craft journey. See what I did there? And what I am planning on doing in 2026 is sort of leaning into that a little bit more. And rather than sort of, I love doing vlogs, don't get me wrong, I do love a good vlog, but I don't have the life for vlogs. I'm not very exciting. I have 2 young kids. I work 5 days a week, and my husband works full time, and he works shift work. So he's on weekends and night shifts and all that sort of stuff. And with the cost of living at the moment, we don't really have that much of a opportunity to go and do exciting things. So vlogs really don't work. I am also trying to, I don't really want the kids focused on this channel. This is not for them. Look, if I'm doing a live and one of them comes in for a cuddle, I'm not adverse to them being seen, but I don't want them to be a feature, if that makes any sort of sense. So yeah, so I've been thinking a bit about it, and I'm sort of leaning into the mic here, but I really should be a bit further back. Hang on, can I adjust this sound a little bit? I am at max. Okay. But so what I am hoping to do, you also might hear my son listening to, dancing along to Danny Go out there. We are still at Christmas holidays. We are still going to have school holidays till the end of January. And we're on day 6 of January. So yes, I've got to go back to work next week. He's going to go to work with me. And yes, so this channel, I'm very okay. So what I really want to do with this channel is I want to turn it into more of a video diary. So I've always wanted to be that diary keeper. I've always wanted to do the journals, and I just don't. I don't keep them up. I lose track, and then, yeah, anyway. So what I'm thinking of doing is individual videos tracking my individual projects. So there's sort of 3-4 sort of things I want to do over the next 12 months. One is my writing. I have got to finish editing Botany, and I got to get it out. I haven't edited it the entire time I've been on holidays because I've been writing a draft. Yeah. I had an idea for Chosen. It's worked. and I just got to get out of my brain before I can focus on botany. So I'm writing it. I'm nearly at 60,000 words with this book. And I started the Christmas holidays. I only had like 25,000 words in there, usable words in the draft. So I'm going to be writing on that after I finish recording this too. And so that's chosen botany. I also want to, well, there's sort of 5 things, because even though it's sort of part of the publishing journey, it's going to be its own sort of thing. I want to track my recording. So recording of my audiobooks. I want to sort of sit in this situation here. I'll have my audio station up. I'll do a video about that. We've got to make some changes to it, because when we've moved everything here, we did originally have the space, but then I went and bought a writer's bureau. So I don't quite have the space I need to fit the booth as made. So we've got to make a few changes to it. I'm still working on this audio. I am hoping it's sounding a lot crisper than it was. Otherwise, I'll be re-recording this again. And I'm not monitoring it. My headphones died. I was playing around with the microphone and my headphones just stopped working. Our technology is getting to the age where it's starting to just break. Everything is breaking, and it's really frustrating. And so I'm going to do like little updates or video chats about individual books. I want to track my audio, so I want to sit here, record a chapter, and you'll get on YouTube. You'll get the chapter unedited. You'll get all my fuck ups. You'll get all my screwed ups. You'll get me trying to say a word like 15 times before I get it right, because that's a thing. But then I will clean the audio up in post and use that chapter for the new audiobook. That's sort of where I'm thinking with that. So you will get a free audiobook, but it's going to be messy, unedited, very raw. So that's also something else I'm going to be doing a lot more of. I will be doing some editing on my channel, but I am not going to be fixated on making it like as quick as possible, as tight as possible. I've never been that type of editor. I like putting in fuck ups. I like people to see that you're not perfect. Because I think we sometimes get a little bit too obsessed with appearances. Oh, I hope this works. So I'm just looking at my volume for Deep Purple here, and it's definitely tracking in the right space, and that is a comfortable spot to sit. Okay, we'll scoot forward a little bit better. Oh, yeah, I like that. Okay, then when it comes to my reading, I was challenging myself last year to get down to books that I'd bought within 6 months. So have only books that I hadn't read on my shelves within 6 months. And I did manage it but then I stopped reading for like 6 months. I go through phases. But what I actually want to do in regards to reading this year is I want to focus more on reading as an author. So I do read because I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. But there's a part of me that likes to analyze. I've always analyzed story. I've always sort of not to the degree of a normal critic. I am no critic. Okay. This is not going to be a critique channel. I'm not that good. I have very different opinions of some things to a lot of the consensus. It's why I never finished my degree. I could not write a critical essay because I would come at it from a very different point of view, and my teacher would be like, well, this is not backed up with anything else. It's like, yeah, but you asked me my opinion, and they'll be like, well, yes, but you have to back it up with other critics and other experts. It's like, well, that's not my opinion then, is it? Let's just say university's not for me. And so as part of that, I've got all my A's here. Okay, so these are all my A's here in this stack here. I've slowly been going through my wish list and also to authors that I really like and buying most of their back catalogue. There are some authors that are not represented here. I do have some audiobooks, I do have some ebooks, but what I want to do is I want to go through all my A's, read all my A's, and whilst I'm reading all my A's, this might take me a year to get through. There's like 30 odd books here, and that doesn't include the ebooks I have and audiobooks. And then what I want to do is, whilst I'm reading them, I'm going to focus on getting all the B books, and then I'm going to read through those. And so this might be a very long-term project. So, but it's not just reading through the books for the sake of reading them. I want to sit there as a writer, as a storyteller, and see what I like, what I don't like, and try to make it more conscious what I'm interested in and where I'm, you know, what themes poke out to me, what turns of phrase point out to me, you know, that sort of stuff. And I want to sit, and I've been really enjoying The Lonely Reader, I think her name is, where she sits and she's reading a chapter of the Silmarillion and a chapter of Lord of the Rings and then commenting on it. And I like that. I probably won't do it so granular with every book, but I really, really like that idea of sitting with a book, just reading it, commenting on it, stating opinions that are my own, not some experts, and then sort of just going through the book slowly. That's kind of where I want to go with my reading. Now, as part of that, I have been hyper-focusing a shit ton on Old Norse mythology, Old Norse books, all that sort of stuff. And in particular, the Poetic Edda. So I've got like 4 versions already, and I want to get more. I also want to get a pile of versions of Beowulf, and there's a few other books that I want to get. There's a series called Books That Inspired Tolkien, and I've got the Poetic Edda of it. And I want to get all of these. It's called The Professor's Bookshelf. I haven't even read this one, but I just like the idea of the different books that inspired Tolkien being like all the different medieval essays or whatever that he really was interested in. Actually, a really pretty book. Oh, it's got the original in it. I am planning to try to teach myself Old Norse in the next 12 months. Oh, well, to start teaching myself Old Norse. Yeah, I thought, tell me this, O wise, since thou art learned in the ways of all beings, I ween. How is the wind which wanders wide, named by the rights of all worlds? Sagma pat avis o of Rockfrea, Volumuk diverger ad vitar, have savinda hitar, est vipasva hayimi hadadam I. That was really bad, but I do want to so I want to my pretty bookshelf. There we go. Okay, so I'll probably cut that out. That was really bad. But what I want to do is I want to focus a lot on some aspects that I'm very interested in. I also have a few books on menopause I want to read because, yeah, that's coming. And so what I want to do is I want to just slowly read through my collection, maybe even reread a few books, just have a little chat, not necessarily a review, but just like a chat about the book, what I liked, what I didn't like, complete spoilers. Do not watch any of my videos, even on my own books, if you do not want spoilers. I'm sorry, but you cannot discuss a book properly if you do not spoil it. It's just fact. And, oh, hello, JJ. Are you hot, baby? It's going to be a very hot day today. Yeah, it's going to be hot today, isn't it, darling? You want to come up for a cuddle? Oh, Here's my JJ. Yeah, so that's with reading. And then as part of that, I have over the last 20, 30, 40 years, when was the internet invented? Yeah, closer to 20, 25 years. I I have downloaded a lot of like information books. So I've got a lot of books on things that I've found very interesting or just free downloads. Recently, last year, I discovered some academic sites that allow me to download critical papers and information and things like architects going through. Oh, I've got so many books, so many ebooks, and I'm not a very good ebook reader. So what I've done is I'm going to like, as part of this challenge to read through my library, it's not really, I don't have to read through my entire library. It's just trying to not even gamify it, just put it in a situation where it was I'm bite sizing it, if that makes sense. Like, because obviously I've got a lot of books and then I'm bite sizing it by making my actual reading pile smaller. And then, so what I'm also going to do is I'm going to challenge myself to try to read about 15, 20 of these essays. Now, some of these essays that I've downloaded are 2 pages long. So they really shouldn't be hard to read, or I might be able to get through like 3 in one night, sort of thing. But a lot of them are on most recent discoveries of Old Norse, some medieval texts, that sort of stuff. And I'm just interested and I want to read it. And I download it because I'm interested in it. And then it just sits as in a digital graveyard. And I want to go through all that. So as part of that, I'm sort of leaning towards this, what are they calling it? The curriculum, making your own curriculum thing. But I'm not going to do it formally. I might sit down with like a video and just say, hey, I read this really interesting paper by this person about this information. It might just be something as simple as that. I'm not going to create myself a curriculum and want to do this and want to do that. I don't have the ability to have my personal time that structured at the moment. And this is personal time for me. As I said, I work 5 days a week. I don't work full-time hours because I have to drop my son off and pick my son up from school because he refuses to go to before and after school care. All the challenges of neurodivergence. But at the same time, so I very rarely have time to myself anymore. The kids go to bed and I might have an hour, 2 hours in me, and I've got to prioritize something. So I either have to write or read or sit and veg. Vegging is always a good option. So I'm not going to create like the pressure of having like to-do lists and this, which is why I've sort of done this, because this to me isn't a to-do list. This is my focus. And then but I'm going to do the same thing with this sort of personal curriculum thing. As I mentioned before, I want to learn Old Norse. Now, I don't necessarily have to be able to speak it very well, but I want to learn it so I can read it, because I've created a culture in my sci-fi universe which is heavily, heavily inspired by Norse. And I'm actually using Old Norse as their language. So obviously things have changed. It's many thousands of years in the future, but I'm not Tolkien. I can't create my own language, but I didn't want to use an existing language that's still being used. So we sort of only have fragments of Old Norse, and I think that I can use because I can use individual words when I need to. And then when I'm not, I can just say they're speaking in Star Chaser, which is the language, which is what the people are called. They're called Star Chasers. And so that's sort of, but I am also one of these people that love to know everything about anything, and I want to learn it. Like, I actually want to learn Old Norse because I'm really inspired by the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. Poetic Edda more than the Prose Edda, to the point where I've been writing songs for these people. Yeah, so it's it's a thing. There are going to be songs. There is a song in botany already, and Chosen's going to have at least one, maybe two songs. I'm trying to figure out. I'm not a very good writer at songs, so there's just a few lines that I really need to get some work on. But yeah, so it's sort of all sort of interconnected a little bit, but that is sort of where I'm heading with that area. And then when it comes to my crafting, you might not get what I was planning on having. So I was planning on doing like individual projects and like just sort of following that project from day dot through. And I really enjoy the spin to knits. Oh God, I can't think of the YouTuber's name, but I really love those videos because I love seeing like her picking the project, picking the yarn, picking the fiber, spinning the fiber, and then knitting the project or crocheting the project, whatever she's chosen to do. And I really like that, and I would love to do it too. But when it comes to my crafting, my knitting, and all that sort of stuff, that is my hobby. So where writing, I would love to sell enough books to be able to write full time so I can stay at home, write full time, and look after my kids when I need to. But when it comes to spinning, knitting, crocheting, that I am very intentionally trying to keep as a craft. So I don't know how much of that's going to end up on this channel. I might just like mention it occasionally, or if I have a particularly big project that I'm working on, aka Mark's Blanket, you might get something. But I am videoing clips. I'm just not sure if I'm going to use those in the future. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's everything. Yeah. So it's this year's, I'm not going to commit to posting once a week. I'm not going to commit to posting any sort of like updates every 5 days or anything like that. But I do want to like be a bit more intentional about what I've posted, a bit more sort of in depth on what I'm posting, things like that. If you have any suggestions, or if you have any ideas that you would like to see me do, or books that you would like to see me read, let me know. I have caved to the algorithm and I've gotten bunny. I actually saw a YouTuber that I really respect, a booktuber, and she loved it. So I thought, well, you know what, I'll give it a go. But that could be an interesting one. So yes. So in the meantime, I am going to try to sort out this lighting situation, hope that this audio is decent, and I shall see you in the next video. So I would say, oh, I come. Now, also too, with this new stuff, I managed to get back into my Ko-fi. I haven't been able to get into Ko-fi for like 3 years, but I managed to get back into my Ko-fi. So if you want to support this channel, I do not intend to ever take sponsorships or JJ. Yes, darling. So if you do want to support this channel to a monetary value or have like affiliate links, things like that, I do have Ko-fi. I can now get into it. Also too, my book is available. If you buy my book, it will help the sales ranks. It will help and I will get a little bit of a cut once everyone else has taken their pound of flesh out of it. But that will help. So that's sort of where I would direct people to, that if you want to support this channel, Ko-fi, or buy my book, or buy a copy of Where is Baba, which is still available. Where is Baba? Where is Baba? Where's my book? There it is. I had to take it down because it was starting to curl up. But yes, my kids' book's still available. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to support the channel, that's probably the two best ways to do it. Or alternatively, like, comment, subscribe. I believe there's now a hype button. I really got to get up on my YouTube Lexon. I really do. But all those things, I would say please do them, but we're all adults. Do whatever the fuck you want. And I shall see you in the next video. And I will eventually be able to look at the camera and not Focus on my face over there. See you soon.